Hello, lovely people of the internet. How are we doing today? So, welcome to Honeycrafts. This is my 5th stream on this channel, I think. And I just want to go over some things about like novels and practice writing. I've just been practicing lately. I don't have a book currently, but I'm doing a degree in English literature and creative writing to make a book, to publish a book, basically. It's gonna be, how do I put this? A work in progress. It's not gonna be a long time, I have to admit. These are just stories that really come into my head and just go to the page, kind of thing. For this, it's just a dead-on story that I've just kind of compiled in my head. And most of it isn't true. The story isn't true. So please emphasize that. None of this is true in this story, and it's just a practice story, and I just want to clear that up before we continue. I will not be publishing this book, the one I'm writing right now, because it's just a practice writing. And I need to figure out things. I need to work out what Scrivener is. Well, obviously I'm already on Scrivener, but also I need to figure out how to use the tools they already have, because I'm very new to Scrivener. I've only been on it for a couple months. And then I need to figure out how to format and such. It's a work in progress, let's just say. But I hope you're all having a lovely time, and I know I'm not going to get many people on this stream because a lot of people do not. There's not many people out there that watch my videos, so please keep watching. So let's go down to the basics of English, shall we? I basically have a C in English, roughly. But the degree I'm doing is basically no experience. You don't need any experience to actually do this. Because it's more about imagination than anything. And I have pretty good imagination, I have to admit. It kind of seeps into my vulnerability, and then it seeps down into my childhood and such. But this story isn't true, so let's go down to what I've already written. I've written probably 2 chapters, and I'm already like, I don't like this story. The way I grammar some things is very bad. I haven't exactly, I've scripted, like, I made like scripts, like a full dead-on script for a series I wanted to do, but this is a completely different thing. Yeah, I made stories in the past, but this could be the same thing for novels, except more in depth, more emotion, feelings, and a part of me, That's how I kind of see it. Like, this story is not based on anything at this very moment, so. But let's go down to reading what I've already put. So there's 890 words, which is okay for a chapter 1, to be honest. I mean, let's look at the Rise of the School for Good and Evil that I'm reading on my 3rd channel at the moment. To be honest, I think I need to add more words to this. Let me see. When does chapter 1 actually end? I guess it's kind of different for each book. Because where did I just drop it? I think I did. No, it's still there. It's still there. So if you're not, you know, oh, maybe I should stream this on my other channel as well, I guess. Let me just add my... Oh, I don't even know. Oh, sorry, give me a second. I have some things that I have to do. Give me a second. Oops, I did not mean to press that. Okay, try another way. Try another way. Okay, that's not what I want to do. It says sign into Google and I don't know. Oh my god. Yeah, stream information. Give me a second. That's the stream information. Restreams channels. Where did that go? Try again. I think I'm having an issue with I'm having an issue. Add channel. Hold up. There you go. Two-step verification. Sorry, give me a second. Okay. Yes. I'm gonna stream this on my third channel, which I have uploaded a few bits on there. Oh, it's disabled? What do you mean? I didn't even know it was disabled. Why is my third channel disabled? Maybe that's... Did I accidentally disable it? Give me a few seconds. I'm gonna be right back. I think it's because this channel hasn't got many subscribers. I have no idea. I've only got 10, which is kind of a miracle. Thank you everyone for supporting this channel. Yeah, agreements. I don't honestly know what's wrong. Community, I don't... You know what, we're gonna leave it to this stream, because I think... I don't know. We're gonna just turn it on. Oh, it worked. No, it didn't work. Let me just have a look at this. So random how it doesn't work all the time. Okay, you know what? We're gonna forget about it. I can't be asked to deal with this at the moment anyway. So let's go back to this. Now, this is like GCSE level to me. I would say it's more of a lower level grade than anything, really. But could I have faith, you know? in yourself and you're creative and how you describe things and such. I'm not good at describing things, but at the same time, in my head, I'm very good at it. But spelling it out is very hard for me. But I'll get used to it. So, the queen's daughter had been cursed by her grandmother years after her birth. As time went on, her mother became leery of her. Princess Caroline couldn't care less because she had her books and time. But time couldn't be far from fragile at her young age of 15. She glossed through the window, aching for something more in life, but things couldn't be more peaceful. Her mother, Delilah, Queen of Avondale, a country just across the sea, far away from a vast land huddled by kingdoms, wars, and money. Queen Delilah was vigilant on keeping away from all that nonsense. Her country had separated while the kingdoms as afar would battle in ships. I haven't actually done this, so afar would battle in ships across from the window near where Caroline would sit. Every night was fireworks and smoke just across the sea. Is that correct? Because it came up on Grammarly that this is the wrong. While kingdoms afar would battle in ships across from the window near where Caroline would sit. No, that's correct. I don't know why that didn't look correct to me, so. Because she's at a window. You can see her at the window, just looking at all these smoke and all these ships. You know. That's kind of how I see it. Caroline always pondered if maybe she could understand why. Princess Caroline already knew she was cursed, but her mother not so much knew of her awareness. She found out at age 12 when she bled for the first time. Her hair became darker as she got older, but her face stayed young. This aura in her would best. Now, I'm thinking here, this is where I kind of explain, but there's got to be a middle ground of her young self and her new self now. So this is where I've become a little janky, so this aura in her would burst into flames, but it only scared her more of herself. Her bedroom walls were scattered with burnt ashes of wallpaper. Teddy's burnt to ash as if even she couldn't figure out why. Nobody, not even her, knew why her grandmother hated her so much, because she never knew her. Her mother used to tell her stories of the old and new things about her grandmother. She was a frail old lady and stubborn. In Caroline's eyes, she wanted to know more. She wanted to know why she was stuck in here, why this was happening to her. It's like a Rapunzel kind of vibe, except she saves herself. Let me see, where was I at? Nobody, not even her, knew why. Already done that bit. Her mother used to tell her stories of the. Yeah, already read that. In Caroline's eyes, she wanted to know more. Yeah. Why this happened to her, she wanted more. That faithful night, Caroline couldn't bear these full wars, but she finally had enough. She scatterbrained a plan in her head. Caroline whispered slowly there. My birthday. Well, obviously she whispers it, skittering it into a flame. Then she patted it out. She muttered, maybe I should stay calm. She held her breath, and her hands with revealing glimmers of tiny fire in her hands. She slowly watched as she put it out by herself without her mother screaming or crying at her side to put it out. That is a long sentence, I have to admit. Oh, there's actually a dot there. I didn't see that. Maybe I should probably separate some of these paragraphs. Like here. Yeah, here. Thing is, though, I don't like the way it looks when it looks so off. But I'm gonna put that separated. I think that's a fair good chunk, so We're gonna read this and then we're gonna carry on making the story. This is only a practice story, just remind you. Where were we? That fateful night, Caroline couldn't bear these full. Yeah, we already read that bit. Screaming or crying at her side to put it out, her eyes glowed with relief while doing it again and again. Every breath she took, she would swell and calm while the flame extinguished slowly, as if her breathing slowed and hurled at the certain lights. The sun started to rise, and Caroline figured it out. As dawn set on, Caroline had a plan. I say Caroline too much. To set herself free from this birdcage, she placed a carefully candled lamp on her bed where she slept, then dashed down the vines near her balcony. The maid called for the guards, but Caroline already left 2 hours early. That's another paragraph, I guess. Her feet on the ground, she felt grass and vacant butterflies blowing across her nose, twitching as she nearly screamed, but she sneezed instead. Then 2 guards were alerted. She hid behind a tree, stealthy under the grass and stealthily, maybe? It's probably a better word than stealthy. That doesn't make sense though. Stealthy, stealtherly under the grass and crouched down as soon as they passed her. Where was she going? But this plan took some strategic stealth moves. She thought as she giggled quietly. She made her way across a burnt fire. She held her nose. She sniffed and almost gagged. Ew. Steamed fresh fish and seaweed smelled like a feet for 2 days after burning them accidentally. Okay, I have to admit that part is kind of funny. Them accidentally. She held herself together while narrowing a tree just ahead, almost like a sign had appeared in front of her. She stood and read, "The Docks of Avondy," an arrow pointing left. She thought of the letters that her mother used to teach her as a little kid. She could never say Avondale, but Avondy, as she pronounced it. Caroline still in the grass. She could never say Avondale. Well, I've already read that bit. Caroline still in the grass, head low. A ship was on the dock called the Maidenvale Line 2 or 1 or whatever, or I or something. Bearded men with long legs and shorts made their way across the docks. Maybe I should add more like environmental things in here. That would be kind of cool. Bearded men with long legs and shorts made their way across the docks, carrying what looked like leather and bread. Caroline was nearing a barrel, but she knew if she stayed near it, she would get caught until. Oi, little one! She turned like a plank of wood to see a bearded man with one leg staring head blank at her. He grunted. "What are girl doing?" I can't even pronounce that pirate talk, so. "What are girl doing on my dock, eh?" She looked around and none of them knew she even was the queen's daughter. I mean, she was still in armored light leather when she turned back. They was gone. The shuddering of a bell turned as the ship was about to leave. Caroline saw a line of men with these uniforms she had never seen before approaching the boat in a line. She was only small and could hurry her way around the back of the boat into a barrel. She closed the lid, making sure she never breathed a sudden sound in case her light could be seen. A bearded man placed her in the storage area of the boat and left her. She suddenly dived out, taking her breath. It was dark, but a window had been covered by the barrels. She moved them out of the way and shuddering as she saw across the sea her mother's guard, searching for us as it set sail across yet to the other island. I can't even speak. She lay there near the window as Caroline slept soundly, seeing where this adventure would take her. I kind of like it. I do like this story, I have to admit. This is where it gets more complicated, because as she arrives, there's a bell. As the bells of a ship making its way to shore shudder Caroline awake, she opens her eyes to light, but this didn't seem like the right border. She sprung to her feet as she heard the men talking outside the crooked door. Bitter men suspiciously said, "Did you hear some snoring or rustling down there?" Another, "Did someone hit you with a steamed fish soup today?" I mean, he could have. The door opens with shadows of feet as Caroline gets dragged out to the dock of the ship. Till they left for another barrel. She lifts the lid. I'm gonna get rid of that the lid and stands on the dock and runs for safety. Caroline didn't know where she was, but as soon as she ran off for a cliff, she was a cliff. Maybe I should rephrase that a bit to like village. Because she doesn't know where she is. Okay. Because the way I'm thinking of a cliff is like a dock. She's running across a dock. And there's like houses and there's like a cliff with the houses raised up kind of thing. It's kind of how I see it. But nobody will think that when reading this, but you know. She ran for a cliff. She was hit with a poster in the face. She waved her hair out the way and read it. Wanted. Gregory of Avondale be sentenced to prison for 17 years, dead or alive. 14,000 gold reward. King Andrew of Maidenvale. Her face looked puzzled. She had a brother, she thought. Her head flew up to see a begging older gentleman with ragged clothes, with a cloth round his hand, looking for coins. But then Caroline realized she had no coins herself. She had left it under a lockbox shifted under her bed. Caroline knew she had to make some coin to survive, but 14,000 was a lot of coin. Would she risk the coin or her brother? She doesn't believe it yet. To get somewhere, she looked at the older gentleman with a slight bow while walking off slowly. He looked back in utter confusion. He muttered, "Strange gal." She curiously walked towards the noise near a tavern called the Endless Buck, with the big head of a stag at the end. She thought there is bound to be someone with some direction on where to go around here. All the villagers was mostly on the floor, sleeping like drunken fools, but outside was another story. She realized she was can't even speak. She realized she was too small to reach the bar where they sell wine or beer. As the bard slowly whisked away from the line of sight, she sank down under and over to see only a basket full of bread, and she was hungry. She had a few mouthfuls and looked down to the other side of the tavern, where a gentleman had been sitting. A portrait of a map had been drawn. Maybe I should add, like, she still has the poster in her hand, this poster, and, like, she's holding it till she sees the map and where she is. That's probably a good idea. Where were we? Drunken Fools Bar, route. I always get lost in this. She realized she was. Yeah, we already read that bit. She had a few mouthfuls and looked down on the other side of the tavern where a gentleman had been sitting. A portrait of a map had been drawn and placed right in the centre of the wall, hung up but still readable. She looked closer to the gentleman beside her, fell to the ground. To her surprise, she wasn't across from her tower back in Avondale. She was much, much further. Maidenvale. She checked and checked. She was on the other side of the island. Her face grew pale. She wasn't scared of the boat or how she got here. But she only wanted to stay for a day. Feels like she is stuck here. Now, this is where I got really stuck with the story and where she goes now. Caroline is quite a character. She's adventurous. She's kind of a vibe, in my opinion. But she wants adventure, you know, like she wants to do something with her life. Like her mother's trapped her away, and yeah, I think I got this. Yeah, that's better. I didn't realize no, that's normal, that's normal, that's normal. I'm gonna just separate some of this. That's better. That's like 3 paragraphs. So. I mean, it would be a good book, but I wouldn't personally publish it. This book. It sounds good. This is the draft, and this is the new version that I'm gonna write, so I'm hoping I can make something up much better than this. Because it's all gotta make sense in some way. Because this is basically discovery writing. This is basically something that I kind of enjoy, like making up things. It's really interesting what I come up with. I'm just gonna get my little, where did I put it? Give me a second. I had a plan for this story, but I don't know where I put it. I think I put it underneath here. Did I? I've written down some things and I want to know how I plan everything out. So I've written down on a piece of paper like the gist of what's gonna happen, but I just don't know how I'm gonna get there. That's the point of imagination. So how is she gonna find Gregory of Avondale? That's my question. And where is her mother, kind of thing. So that's what I kind of, would she be looking for her, kind of thing? But as I said, she's leery of her from the first paragraph. Now, where I want to go with this story is going to be very complicated to explain. But this is just a practice story, so. So the twist is gonna be awful to write. Okay. I was thinking. Okay. I got it. It's in my head. I know what I'm gonna write. Ah dear, it just comes to me like a switch. This is just a draft. And then I'm gonna do a duplicate. What she thought? Very anxious, but what I'm gonna do is she walks out the tavern and takes No, wait. I got an idea. Her eyes half blind and half not. Caroline turns to see her face to face. Gray. And blue eyes. Gray and brown eyes. Trying to think. Damn. Okay. Caroline shocked. Caroline. Oh my god, that doesn't make sense. Not too character. Became paler. Kept her mouth. Before her mouth shut as the lady gave a sign of don't say a word. So we have two locations. We have Maidenvale. I'm trying to think. Evandale, Maidenvale, popular for their Avondale. Can't think. What would be a good popular way? Oh no, food. And then we have a different city. So we have Maidenvale, Avondale, and Robin. I'm gonna go with Robin. Let's go with something Raven Valley, maybe? I'm gonna go with Raven Valley. That's actually sounded good. Okay. The reason I'm putting so much work into this is so I practice how to make a novel before I actually officially make this novel. But this isn't the novel. The drafts are just drafts for practice writing, so these weren't regular villages. These were parts from the Raven Village up north from the no. They were pillagers ready to steal anything. I mean, what would they be doing in Maidenvale? That's the thing. Okay. What is going to happen when she actually gets out of that tavern? Let's think about that. This was a trap. But the lady seemed on leading out. Can't even spell adamant. Oh my god. If anyone knows what adamant means, let me know. So I gotta go back on. Wait, what did I write before that no one knew? Because the ships going from Avondale to Maidenvale were actually for the south. They were just visiting. Yeah, okay. These Raven villagers up north were pillagers that just needed, because the south is dying, basically. I put it like that. She gave them sweet lullabies to sleep with cast. To sleep with a purple spell drifting. God, this story's so good, even though I'm not gonna publish it. I feel like I should, but you know. Drifting through her mouth. It's like a mix between a very scary kind of thing, but I don't know. So this lady is actually, how do I put it lightly? I don't know. It's in my head, but I can't say it. These weren't regular villagers. These were pirates from the Raven village up north from Maidavale. They were pledged ready to steal anything or anyone. Caroline knew this was a trap, but the lady seemed adamant on leading her out. Oh, what happened? Oh, the endless buck, I mean. And now Caroline even fell asleep until she awoken again during the night. She looked up to see the same lady on a carriage. It's like I'm doing narration while doing the story, so I need to learn to stop doing that and kind of fix into. But it is kind of showing instead of telling. I don't know. Who are you? That's a good one. I wouldn't say this is very much a fairy tale. It's not. It's actually reality, but it's more medieval than anything. I'm trying to think what she says to her. Trying to think of a name. I already have it planned out, so my god. Okay. Beatrix of Raven. She's actually from Raven Village, so she's not a pillager though. She left there years ago. That's what I kind of see. Beatrix. Okay, Beatrix. Avondale. She lies to her basically, saying she is from the same place. There is no last names, just locations. I think I won't do last names because that's not very medieval like. But I'll probably change it in the future. You save me. Can't even freaking spell right now. Caroline's face. So this is gonna go way back. I think whose story are we gonna tell? I don't know. Gregory maybe? Yeah. It won't be the full story because she doesn't know it. She only knows her side of the story. It's kind of how I see it anyway. So Gregory is actually the head guard of Avondel's. This is where it gets really complicated. So, Michael Lancelot, head of guard of Avondale, is actually an ex of Beatrix Raven. How she's connected to him is because they met through the war after Delilah, Queen of Avondale, had a son. And who's the son? Gregory. It's like... But she broke up with him a long time ago. She was she was pregnant with twins during that time until she whisked Gregory away to live with Lancelot to help cover up it, basically. So, and the reason she has magic is because obviously she's a half witch herself, but she's a full witch. So that'll put you into place. It's like, what? Who's that character? Who's this character? It's like, we're getting there slowly. But we're only going up to 800 words, I think. So we have to finish this chapter off and then go to another one. But this story looks kind of good, I have to admit. It's not the best, but the memories, the storytelling is kind of my suit, but not perfect at it. Explaining and describing what Caroline sees is most important, but looking at the environment, seeing who's around and seeing who's not, is very important as well. Okay, now I'm thinking. She had a hood over her head, but the city had a knife in her hand pocket as she showed it off. Dark hair and scorching grey and brown eyes. Her face became paler before her mouth shut. As the lady, this isn't her grandmother, by the way. What did you say to me? Beatrix looks at her, hesitant to answer. I have a story to tell you. Okay. She whisked up a purple spell in her hands and then breathed it into Caroline's face. She inhaled. Then she fell into sleep. I'm gonna put this in, I think. Speech bubble, I think. Yeah. So. Delilah and Two Kingdoms run by Queen Delilah. Who is going to be the... Let me have a think. So I've already made up the names. So there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. So there's only 4 towns, so it needs to be someone in between, so. Okay. And her son. There you go. During the War of Avondale and Raven. No, that's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. I didn't mean to put that. I meant Maidenvale. During the War of Avon. Wait, is my. Yes, okay, that's fine. During the War of Avondale and Maidenvale, 2 kingdoms run by Queen Delilah and her son, King Andrew. They fought. Doesn't make sense. For 2 centuries, no. Doesn't make sense. Their rivalry was set. Can't even spell rivalry, oh my god. I can imagine having a sun that's ice instead of fire is very interesting. Sorry, I'm going in too deep. Okay. We're not going too deep. We're going into Andrew more than what we are Beatrix, so. Slanderous. Bloodshed. Okay, after a slanderous war and never-ending bloodshed, Delilah came to an agreement that she would give the kingdom up to Andrew. To King after falling gravely ill and pregnant. I'm joking. Gravely ill. Devastated. Avondale, I can't even spell it right. Yes, there you go. During the War of Avondale and Maidenvale, the two kingdoms run by Queen Delilah and her son King Andrew, their rivalry was set through his powers, fire and ice spells. These opposites brought a melting tension between them both after a slanderous war and never-ending bloodshed. No, that doesn't make sense. Came to an agreement that she could... No, that doesn't make sense. Now let's go back. So we already said there was a war, so... I think I'm thinking of this story. Gravely ill. Gravely ill. I think. Trying to think. During the War of Avondale and Maidenvale, two kingdoms run by Queen Delilah and her son King Andrew, their rivalry was set through his powers, fire and ice. These opposites brought a melting tension between them both. After a slanderous war and never-ending bloodshed, she called off her troops. Her soldiers. Maybe it isn't called Avondale. Maybe it's called a different... Yeah. She called off her troops and... Lancelot. Michael Lancelot. Oh. Michael Howard. I'm thinking on the lore and everything that she needs to know a little bit of the lore before she, you know. What happened to Beatrix? Beatrix ever became Beatrix ever became no. During the war of became gravely ill. She called off the troops and became a non-existent queen in Raven Village. Be with child. She was a desperate for a cure, but she lost faith. Until Delilah made a ultimatum. How do you spell ultimatum? That's not how you spell it. That's how you spell it, yes. No, it isn't. Okay, during the war of we already been through that. Before everything started, she was met with Beatrix of Raven Village and her husband, Michael Lancelot of Raven Village. Michael had an undying love for her after the war. Beatrix, however, was already half blind during the war and could never be with child. She was desperate for a cure, but she lost faith until Delilah had a ultimatum. How would she be good if she stole away her husband? I mean, come on. She's probably over it by now. I'm gonna go with that. It's quite a bit of writing, I have to admit. Oh crap, I can't even see down here. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. There you go. Okay, during the war, Raven Village. Okay, I need to figure out. So she couldn't have children, so the plan for her was to, because they're witches, so they're half witches, to be honest. I think I'm gonna leave it as that. My brain hurts. I think I'm gonna leave it as that. Where were they headed? I think I need to figure that out as well. I know. I know. And a wooden bed. Okay. I think that's all I'm gonna do today. It's at 88, the same as. No, actually, that's different. 890, 88, same thing. Just one more difference. But I think I'm gonna half this. I think I'm gonna half this. Oh, that looks perfect. Oh my god. Right, I'm gonna leave this draft here. Thank you for watching. I will see you very soon. Just know this is just a, as I said, writing practice, you know? Anyway, take care everyone. I will see you very soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can improve my writing and figure it out myself. And when I start my degree, I can get better at it. So, take care. I'll see you soon.